He thought a raise would finally make him feel safe. Not rich, not flashy, just safe. The kind of safe where you don't open your banking app with one eye closed. The kind of safe where you can buy groceries without doing mental math in the aisle. The kind of safe where the word unexpected doesn't automatically mean problem. When the email came, he reread it 3 times. Congratulations. Your performance has earned you a promotion and a salary increase of $1,200 per month. $1,200 more, not per year, per month. His chest felt warm, his shoulders dropped. For the first time in years, his future didn't look like a tight hallway. It looked like a wider road. That night, he didn't cook. He ordered food, not because he was lazy, because he felt upgraded. Quick thing before we continue. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not personal finance advice. I'm just educating and entertaining you based on research and my personal experience in the real world. The next weekend, he replaced his phone. The old one still worked, but it suddenly felt embarrassing. The cracked screen looked like a symbol of his old life. He told himself the new phone was an investment. Better camera, faster speed. He deserved something nice.
2 weeks later, he started apartment hunting, not because his old place was bad, but because it no longer matched who he was becoming. The new apartment had more light, a gym downstairs, a view of the city instead of the parking lot. It cost $400 more per month, but his raise was $1,200. He still had $800 left. That felt smart. He bought better groceries, real olive oil, organic fruit, name-brand coffee instead of the cheapest one. He started ordering food twice a week instead of once a month. Not luxury, just comfort. Small upgrades, quiet upgrades. 6 months passed, and one evening he sat on his bed and stared at his phone again. His bank balance glowed on the screen like an accusation. $93.47. He blinked, refreshed the app. Still $93.47. The same number he used to see before the raise. The same tight feeling in his chest came back. The same math in his head. The same fear of the next bill. Nothing dramatic had happened. No emergency. No disaster. He didn't gamble. He didn't shop like a celebrity. He didn't buy a car. So how did an extra $7,200 over 6 months disappear? He opened his transaction history like someone reading a crime report. Rent, higher than before. Food delivery, steady. Subscriptions, more than he remembered signing up for. Gym fee, streaming services, cloud storage, new phone payment, better internet plan. Nothing crazy. But together, they had eaten his raise quietly, politely, month by month. He leaned back and laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. It was the laugh people make when they realize something uncomfortable about themselves. He didn't get richer, he got upgraded, and that upgrade came with a new identity. Before the raise, he saw himself as someone trying to survive. After the raise, he saw himself as someone doing well. And people who are doing well don't live the same way as people who are trying to survive. They don't use cracked phones. They don't live in dark apartments. They don't eat the same boring food. They don't feel guilty about small pleasures. His money didn't change his life at first. His self-image did. Psychologists call this lifestyle inflation, but that phrase sounds boring. What really happened was emotional. The raise didn't just increase his income, it upgraded his story about himself. I'm not struggling anymore. I've moved up. I should live like it. Every purchase became proof of his progress. The new apartment wasn't just space, it was identity. The phone wasn't just a tool. It was status. The food wasn't just food, it was comfort. And comfort is expensive when you buy it daily. He didn't feel reckless. He felt responsible. He told himself things like, I still have money left, and it's only $20 more, and what's the point of working harder if I don't enjoy it? Those sentences felt logical. They were emotional. The raise created a quiet pressure to look like someone who earned it. And slowly, without noticing, he built a new financial normal. Old him lived on $2,800 a month. New him lived on $3,900 a month. Not because he planned it, because it happened naturally, like gaining weight when you stop checking the scale. 6 months after the promotion, he wasn't broke because he failed. He was broke because he succeeded without changing how he thought about money. That night, he closed his banking app and stared at the ceiling. It hit him then. His problem was not income. It was that every time his life went up, his spending went up to meet it, like a shadow that follows you no matter how tall you grow.
And he wondered something that scared him more than the empty balance. If I make more money again, will I just end up here again? He didn't know it yet, but this question was about to change the way he saw every future paycheck, not as freedom, but as a test. And the next decision he made would decide whether his next raise would finally make him safe or just make him more comfortable while staying trapped. The next morning, he made coffee at home for the first time in weeks. Not because he suddenly became disciplined, because he was afraid. Fear is a better teacher than motivation. He opened a notebook and did something he hadn't done since college. He wrote down numbers. Before the raise, his monthly life looked like this: rent, $900, food and groceries, $400, transport and utilities, $300, phone and internet, $120, small fun and random spending, $200. Total, about $1,920. He made around $2,100 after taxes. That left him with roughly $180 at the end of the month if nothing went wrong. He wasn't building wealth, but he wasn't drowning either. After the raise, his income became $3,300 after taxes. In his mind, that meant, I now have an extra $1,200 to save. But real life told a different story. New apartment, $1,300 instead of $900. Food and groceries, $650 instead of $400. Transport and utilities, $350 instead of $300. New phone payment, $90. Subscriptions and upgrades, $120. Fun and random spending, $300. Total, about $2,810. That meant his extra $1,200 had quietly turned into $890 of new lifestyle. He was saving about $490 a month. On paper, that sounded okay, but then came the little leaks. One birthday dinner, one weekend trip, one repair, one I worked hard this week meal. The $490 disappeared easily, not in one dramatic moment, but in tiny emotional decisions. What shocked him wasn't the math, it was the pattern. His spending didn't grow because he needed more.
It grew because his standards did, and standards feel invisible. When you upgrade your life slowly, your brain updates what normal looks like. The old apartment starts to feel small. The cheap food starts to feel sad. The old phone starts to feel disrespectful to your effort. This is the dangerous part, not because it's wrong to enjoy life, but because the brain confuses comfort with progress. He wasn't moving forward financially. He was just changing costumes. Same stress, same fear, same end-of-month anxiety, just inside a nicer room. There is something the human mind hates more than being poor. It hates feeling behind compared to who it thinks it should be. After the raise, he wasn't comparing himself to his old self anymore. He was comparing himself to the version of himself he imagined. The man with the nicer place, the man who eats better, the man who doesn't hesitate at checkout. And once that image exists, spending becomes emotional maintenance. You're not buying food, you're buying, I'm doing well now. You're not paying for a gym, you're paying for, I'm the kind of person who takes care of himself. You're not upgrading internet, you're buying, I've moved up in life. Money turns into identity fuel. That's why raises feel dangerous. They don't just change your budget, they change your self-story. And humans protect their self-story more than their savings. He realized something uncomfortable. If his income doubled again tomorrow, his lifestyle would probably chase it. Not because he was weak, but because he never decided what enough looked like. Without a definition of enough, expansion expands like gas in an empty room. It fills whatever space you give it. And society helps it grow. Ads don't sell products, they sell upgrades. Now that you earn more, you deserve better. Level up your life. None of them talk about safety. They talk about image. So he sat there with his notebook and felt two emotions at once: shame and relief. Shame because he saw how predictable his behavior was. Relief because the problem finally had a shape. It wasn't bad luck. It wasn't inflation alone. It wasn't the economy. It was that every raise had been treated as permission to spend instead of a chance to change direction. For the first time, he saw his future clearly. If nothing changed, every future raise would feel good for 3 months and useless by month 6. He wouldn't be poor, but he would never feel safe, never feel ahead, never feel free. That night, He didn't make a big promise. He didn't swear to stop enjoying life. He made one quiet rule. My lifestyle will grow slower than my income. Not stop growing, just slower. And the next paycheck would be the first test of that rule. He didn't know yet how hard that would be, because the hardest part of money is not math. It's saying no to the version of yourself you almost became. When the next paycheck came, he changed one thing. He saved first, before rent, before food, before comfort. Not a huge amount, just enough to make his lifestyle grow slower than his income. And for the first time, something felt different. His bank balance stopped scaring him. His stress stopped controlling him. His future stopped depending on luck. He finally understood the lesson. A raise does not make you rich. It gives you a choice. Upgrade your life or upgrade your freedom. Because if your lifestyle grows as fast as your income, you will always feel broke. But if your income grows faster than your lifestyle, you don't just earn more, you escape. And that is the real promotion. If this video teaches you something valuable, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. I will see you in my next video.